How's it going, everyone? Welcome to my channel. And today we're gonna compare English Pokemon versus Japanese Pokemon. Which cards are better? We're gonna find out through the values in each of these sets. For today's video, we got Scarlet and Violet English versus the Japanese base set of Scarlet and Violet. We're gonna go over booster box prices, the top 4 cards with some omits, the raw prices for these valuable cards, the PSA 9 prices, and if you're able to score that PSA 10, what's the value in return for that card? Let's continue. So starting off, Scarlet and Violet base set was split into 2 sets for Japanese. We have Scarlet EX Pokemon Japanese and Violet EX Pokemon Japanese. So Scarlet and Violet base set in English is going for about $86 on TCG Player. Still a really good price to pick up. I personally don't have any, but $86 for a booster box is probably as cheap as it's ever going to get for any set. That's typically the prices from distributors, and the distributors sell those to other people, and then those people normally sell them to us. And so from TCG Player, you can buy a booster box of Scarlet and Violet for $86. Now, it's not everyone's favorite set. It was the first set in Scarlet and Violet, but the value of the cards isn't really there. But we're going to go over that and look at it today and see, should you pick the Japanese version of this set instead? Maybe. We'll find out. Right now, Scarlet EX Pokemon, the base set, is going for $73 on Amazon and $71 on the Japan Trading Card Store. I personally haven't bought from them, but their site looks pretty legit and they have a ton of cards for you to get. And then we have the Violet EX base set for the Pokemon Japanese market. And these cover arts, by the way, are just really, really cool. That's one thing I like and I wish the English sets would do, because it doesn't really look, I mean, this is there and this is there, but it's all packaged up so you can't really see all the detail. But Japanese, just way cooler designs. But Violet EX is going for $89 on Amazon, and for some reason, which we might find out, why is it going for $111 on the Japan Trading Card Store? And the answer basically is that they're a reputable website, whereas Amazon is too, but you're getting it from third-party sellers, so you probably want to look at the reviews if you're going to be buying from Amazon or any business in general. Always look at the reviews, know where you're getting your cards from, and yeah. So now Violet is a little more expensive than Scarlet, so let's find out why. But first, let's look at the English base set. Right here, we have the top 4 cards from this set, Scarlet and Violet base set, and like I said, it's going for $86, so if you want to pick it up, that's the price you're going to be paying. Now let's look at the values. Miriam she's the queen right here. She's not a runaway queen, but she's got it right here. That card raw, and when I say raw, that just means the card itself, like sleeved up or on its own, is $27. You're going to find out that some cards are worth $100 and more, but this Miriam is only $27. The Gardevoir EX is $22. SIR just stands for Special Illustration Rare. And then the Miraidon right here, super cool card, is only $19. And this Koraidon, I can't believe, is only $9. So I put right here, these are the raw prices. You could grade and flip. And today we're going to look at PSA grade prices for these cards. And also prices were sourced from TCGplayer.com, PriceCharting.com, and TCG Fish. Alright, so right here we can get a good glimpse of the artwork. Incredible artwork. Scarlet and Violet is low-key killing it compared to Sword and Shield, in my opinion. There's just so many different artworks now. And so the Miriam is going for $27 raw. If you were to grade it through PSA, it would be $36 in return right now. That's the value of a PSA 9 for Miriam right now. And the PSA 10 it has a value of $102 right now. So if you got that Miriam in a PSA 10, $102, it's current market value. Now, when this card first came out, it flew up and then flew straight down, fell like a rock. So it came out at $100. People really liked this artwork when it first came out. But then now I don't know, 6 months later, it's $27. Now, if we look at the Gardevoir EX, everyone loved this car when it first came out. It was a lot of people's chases, along with the Miriam. And the raw card is going for $22. If you were to grade through PSA and get a 9, $25 in value. And if you were to grade and get a 10, $60 right now is the value of this card. Now, when I speak of grading, there's a few different grading companies. Just off the top of my head, there's Beckett, there's PSA, and there's CGC. Personally, I like PSA. I have a few CGCs, but not too many, and I have like a couple Beckett's. But yeah, so typically when you're grading cards, it costs about $20 to grade. Then there's shipping, and then there's insurance. The insurance depends on the value of the card or potential value if you were to get a, like a high grade. And so you might pay extra because PSA just charges more for more expensive cards to get graded, pretty much. I personally haven't graded cards, but in the future, I'm looking to do my first PSA grade, and hopefully we can go ahead and film that too. So we have this Miraidon EX. Everyone really loved it at first. It was valued at like $120 upon release, and that was for the car raw. Now it's $58. And yeah, so a little bit of a fall right there. And then the PSA 9, $21 right now. So you would probably want to crack open that case and just have it raw if you got a 9. And then a PSA 10 is valued right now at $48. And in fourth place, we got the Koraidon EX. I did omit a few things, but right now this card is going for $9 raw, $19 as a PSA 9, and $46 as a PSA 10. Unfortunately, if you were like me and you got this card in a PSA 10 for $100, we've lost a good amount of value. But it could only go up from there, or can it? Sometimes cards do go down even further, as we're seeing in the market right now. Now, I omitted the Nest Ball, Rare Candy, Arvin, Ralts, Miriam, Arvin, just some full arts. And so this is the Scarlet and Violet base set, top 4 cards in Japanese. I mean, in English. Now let's go ahead and go to the Scarlet Japanese set. Like I said earlier, Scarlet and Violet was split into 2 sets, Scarlet and Violet, and for Japanese. So let's check out these prices now. We may see some differences. Right here, taking the crown is the Gardevoir EX, the Penny SAR, and in Japanese, SAR means, I believe, Secret Alternate Rare. And then the Koraidon EX is right here, $51, and the Penny Super Rare, $40. So you go from the top card being $116 raw, the Penny card at $44 raw, the Koraidon $51 raw, and the Penny Super Rare $40 raw. Now we're going to see why I put the Penny higher than the Koraidon. It comes down to grading. And then also this Scarlet set is going for $73 on Amazon and $71 on the Japan Trading Card Store. Again, I haven't bought from the Japan Trading Card Store, but they seem pretty legit and they got a ton of cards for you to get. So now let's look at the pretty artwork. Man, these illustrations are really nice. The Gardevoir EX is going for $116 raw right now. The PSA 9 is going for $131, and that PSA 10 is going for $153. What's nice about this Gardevoir is each evolution has like the similar artwork. I think it might be the same illustrator too, and so it's a pretty cool set to have. And I also don't have that card yet. But the Penny right now is going for $44 raw. The PSA 9, $76, and the PSA 10 is going for $170 right now. So pretty good increase if you're ever scored that 10. The Koraidon EX card, in raw, as a raw single, it's going for $51. A PSA 9 is going for $67, and a PSA 10 is going for $72 right now. Beautiful cards, beautiful artworks. Let's look at top 4th card in the set. So in Scarlet EX, Japanese base set, we have the Penny Super Rare card going for $25 raw, $37 in a PSA 9, and $111 in a PSA 10. I did omit the nest ball, which is going for $32 raw, $58 in a 9, and $70 in a PSA 10. So these are the top 4 cards. Gardevoir EX taking that number 1 spot. Because right here, if you can get a 10, you're looking at $153 in value. Also, this penny is pretty good too, because if you're able to get a 10 for this penny, I have it $170 raw. I mean, in a PSA 10. What's also really cool about Japanese cards is the quality is typically really good. So sometimes you can get that 9 or 10, especially that 10. Now, sometimes card quality, might bring the whole set down, but at least you're able to score a good high grade for Japanese cards. That's normally. I don't know about all the time, but normally. All right, now we're going to look at the Violet EX Pokemon base set in Japanese. You can get this Japanese base set for $89 on Amazon and $111 right now from the Japan Trading Card Store. Why is there discrepancy and a difference in price? I'm not too sure, but my guess would probably be because the Japan Trading Card Store is just a really reputable store, and I personally haven't bought from them, but from the look of it, the cards, they just have a ton of cards, and this was a pretty good set because of that Miriam, and so there's that waifu tax on it. But if you want to get on a bargain, Amazon has it from third-party sellers. I would highly suggest that you just look at the reviews and make sure that the business is legitimate and that they have good business practices. So, the Miriam right here, raw. This is just raw, not graded at all. If you were to pull this card out of the set, it's a $361 card. And it's a special art rare. So that's what SAR stands for, special art rare. Oftentimes in Japanese sets too, you get one special art rare, but not necessarily in English though. So the booster box, $89 to $111, and you can pull a $300 card. Pretty cool, but personally I like to keep my stuff sealed, but that's just me, and maybe buy a single. But hey, if you're wanting to open a booster box, you could get this Miriam in the Violet EX base set. Next, we have the Gardevoir EX SAR coming in at $116 raw. The Miriam Super Rare at $57 raw. And the Miraidon EX SAR Special Art Rare, $58 raw. Now let's go ahead and look at these cards in a little more detail. Right here, we got the Miriam. And we're going to look at the PSA grades and look at these returns, at least for the first 2 cards. Wow. The Miriam Raw is a $361 card. The PSA 9 loses some value though, and it's a $322 card. The PSA 10, I can't believe this, but it's a $623 card. Now these cards might be hard to pull, I don't really know, but considering you only get one special art rare out of a box, and then on top of that it needs to be a PSA 10 to get this whopping $600 card. But if it's graded and it's in a 10, you're looking at $623 in value as of right now. Right now in the market, this Miriam is going for $57 raw, a PSA 9 is going for $76, and this PSA 10 is going for $179. So a pretty good return, especially if you're only paying about $20 to $35 to grade each card that you're sending in. And then we have the Miraidon EX going for $58 raw, $53 in a PSA 9, and $89 in a PSA 10. Personally, I got this card in a PSA 10. I got it off eBay, but it was still not hype, but it was still only a couple months out, and it got graded, and I bought it at like around $100. And so it's lost some value for me right now at $89, but this card is actually really, really nice in person. All right, let's look at the top 4th card. Is this Miraidon EX gold card. A lot of people don't like the gold cards. I mean, it's not like a certain illustrator drew it. And this is like, honestly, I just thought of this right now. If they were to make gold cards and make them like special art rares gold, that would be insane. Like its own alternate art, but gold. That would be a way better idea, I think, than just having a full art and then changing the color scheme to make it gold. And it's just the same card reprinted in gold. And they are hard to get too, but no one really likes them. I mean, I think they're cool, but it just depends on the card, I guess, for me. Now, $24 you can get this card raw. If you were to grade it, $38. And if you're looking for that PSA 10 or trying to grade and get a PSA 10, it's valued at $94 right now. I don't know what the hate is on Koraidon, but people in Japan or people in the Japanese market really like Miraidon. So $94 for that Miraidon EX Gold in a PSA 10. I omitted the Katie Super Rare. She's going for $14 raw, $15 in a PSA 9, and $69 in a PSA 10. I put a couple of notes for me to take later. Now, I wonder which set is better. Scarlet and Violet base set, a lot of people don't like it too much. There's not a whole lot of value. But when we look at these cards, the Violet set is incredible in terms of value because you can get a raw Miriam or has a potential to have a Miriam in it. And raw, that card's valued at $361. And then if we look up here at the Scarlet set, you're looking at $116 raw for that Gardevoir EX. And a lot of people really like that card. And you have the potential to either have that or a Koraidon EX. It's only going for $51, but it's a super sweet artwork. Let's see. And then if we review right here, the base set, the Miriam's only $27. And over here in Violet, it's $361. So that's pretty incredible. Like I know Japanese is pretty big right now, but these cards, there's a premium for Japanese cards. And so when you're trying to decide whether to get, add that base set into your collection, do you go with English or do you go with Japanese? I personally don't have an English base set, but now after looking at this and looking at that Miriam, considering base sets, not too great, doesn't have a whole lot of value in it or too many cool looking cards, and I already have a couple slabs anyways, I might want a Violet EX sealed box now. So it's up to you guys. What do you think about these prices? What do you think about the values in this set? I know everyone doesn't really like base set because there's not a whole lot of value, but I'd like to know your opinion, your thoughts. And yeah, so $86 for this Scarlet and Violet base set, $73 on Amazon for this Scarlet EX base set in Japanese, or $71 from the Japan Trading Card Store. And then this Violet set going for $89 on Amazon and $111 on the Japan Trading Card Store. So, what's your verdict? Which set is better? What cards are better, English or Japanese? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And thank you for joining me today. I hope you all have a blessed day. And let's continue getting after it. See you next time. Peace.